it's Moxie Flowers, and this is Words of Wisdom with Moxie Flowers. Oh my god, that was so embarrassing. I just recorded a whole other one of these and did not hit record on my DAW. So literally gone. I don't know, maybe I'll post it, maybe I won't. I don't love the idea of it being just that I'm like holding a mic as a prop. Don't love that, but maybe that was just, again, it's just the universe. It's just the universe. It's the universe telling me, like, Moxie, you just needed to get you gotta do weird things before you do good things. You gotta, this is one of my favorite, like, so when people ask me for songwriting advice, which is like weirdly often, considering that literally less than a year ago I'd never written a lyric in my life and was convinced that I was physically incapable of doing it. When people ask me for songwriting advice and for writing advice just in general, I have a go-to imagery that I tell them when I explain the brain dump method. I say, like, okay, so we're going to dump out our brains. We're going to literally take our brains, open them up, dump it out on the page, not do any editing, no grammar, no nothing, just stream of consciousness, go. So I tell them that, and then they look at me like I'm a sociopath, and they're like, what? And I'm like, okay, imagine that you are mining for gold, you're panning for gold in the river. What is like 99% of what you're doing is just getting through as much dirt as possible. You got to sift through that dirt. You got to get through a lot of dirt to find those little nuggets of gold, to find those little sparkly bits of genius hidden within all of the mud and the silt and the dirt and the river stuff. I don't know. Oh, I also forgot to introduce. Okay, so hi. So, Words of Wisdom, Moxie Flowers, this is what we're doing. YouTube, this is crazy. Hi, YouTube. Basically, what I'm going to be doing on here is just stream of consciousness, talk into a microphone and a camera for an indeterminate amount of time. I'm going to say around 10 minutes. That's like what I'm aiming for, but who knows? Maybe we'll be here an hour later and you'll say, Moxie, 10 minutes? That's psycho. And I'll say, oops, it happens. But yeah, so I got the idea from my friend Joelle. I was going live on TikTok and still am, in theory. I don't know, future me, are you still going live on TikTok? And he said, wow, this could be like a YouTube thing. And I was like, what do you mean YouTube thing? YouTube is so structured. I don't have time for that. I'm doing 17 million other things. I don't have time to be editing a YouTube video. And he's like, just don't edit it. Just talk into the mic and see what magic happens. And so in the same way that I've been doing that with my writing, I'm ready to let the universe guide me through sifting for my gold in terms of the YouTube world. So this is what I'm going to be doing, is every week we're going to be chit-chatting. So sharing stories, tales from the trip, etc. I'm hoping that this will become like a dochi moment. And I sound like such a loser when I say that, but it's true. I'm hoping it'll become like a dochi thing where one day people are going to go back and be like, oh my God, did you know that when Moxie Flowers was just starting out, she posted this thing every week on her YouTube, even though nobody was watching it? That's what I'm hoping this will turn into. And then one day it'll be like a whole phenomenon. A feminine phenomenon. Hit a like, get it hot, make a bitch. I was just about to apologize for being too all over the place, but then I remembered that this is literally my thing. And I don't have to apologize for being who I am. That's kind of the journey that I'm on right now, is not apologizing for not like dimming my star, for not dimming my light. I am writing a song about that right now called Little Miss Sunshine, about the beauty and the curse that is being a person as sparkly as I am. That it's really great to be sparkly until everybody wants to shield their eyes and run away when they realize that this is just what you're like. And it does not have an off switch, and that's just the reality of, being like that. And also that whole mirror ball imagery of, yeah, I'm like the sun. I'm just thousands and thousands of miles away from anyone and they all see me and enjoy me in theory most of the time, but the second they get too close, it's like unbearable for them. And kind of coming to terms with that fun path and metaphor for my feeling like too much but also not enough. It's good times. I wonder if I'll regret posting this. No, I won't. Well, even if I do, in this moment it feels correct, and I'm going to honor that. I'm curious about how I can show up in a way that provides value both creatively and emotionally, but also like where I can receive value. Where I think that I've received so much value in this journey thus far in terms of the growth and the personal understanding and the amazing wildflower community. Like, I've received so much. However, I have 5 cents in my bank account currently total to my name. And that is also a truth that I'm having to work on. So it's a little bit terrifying to be full sending this as much as I'm full sending it. But I don't want to ever wake up and wonder what might have happened if I'd given anything else, if I'd given any more. I want to know that 20 years from now, I can lay my head down on my pillow and be like, even if nothing comes of this, be like, you did the damn thing. Like, you did everything in your power to make something happen when you felt a calling to do so. I want to know that. And I think I will. I don't know. It's interesting. This is definitely a step in that direction. Let me just... Oh, okay. So, Europe. I was just in Europe. I just got back from Europe. It was so interesting. The difference in like the air and the energy of that continent compared to here. I feel coming back, it's like that thing where when you're a little kid, you look at the slightly less little kids and go, oh my God, one day I'll be as big as them and as mature as them. And then you grow up and you're like, and then you look at the slightly less little kids and you're like, oh, they look the exact same as the little kids. Kind of is like that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like the age thing of going to Europe and understanding the sheer history of every single place I went, of like, oh, there have been humans doing things and living lives and making art and having wars and blah, 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 blah on this specific land in this specific place on like a scale that is almost incomprehensible to me as a North American. Where the way that the actual like stone floors are worn smooth from all the footsteps that came and stepped on there before me, I was like drinking it all in. It was like addictive. I couldn't even it was incredible. So feeling that and letting that energy enter my creative psyche was really interesting and has sparked a lot of new ideas that I'm looking forward to exploring further, specifically around the weirdness of time, where I've got a lot of stuff about the weirdness of time, but I've kind of unlocked this whole new dimension of like, oh wow, like time is weird and yuck, and but not yuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, time is confusing and weird in one way that I understood before I went away, and that I've come back with a completely new perspective on a whole other way that time is weird and confusing, and how the evidence of the people and that came before, like in Canada, because of the way that we kind of decimated our First Nations, it is something that I haven't gotten to experience, and especially because I'm from Western Canada, like we are such a new, like we're like babies out here. Everything is so new. Everything is like the oldest buildings in my city are like a little bit over 100 years old, and they're like the oldest. Like, that's crazy. And I am looking forward to playing with that more in my writing. Anywho, it's about to be 10 minutes, so tune in for the next Words of Wisdom next Friday.